Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Brad Wardle, Director of B-Hyve and Digital at Orbit. Thank you for joining us, Brad.
Thanks for having me, Fred.
Well, for some people, listeners, this may be confusing this time of year to be talking about this, but for others in some parts of the country, perfectly natural. What we're talking about is your sprinkler system. And Orbit has been in the business, gosh, for how many years now, Brad?
We've been in the business for over 45 years, manufacturing irrigation products for residential, commercial, and even getting into some agricultural farm devices as well. So we've been at it a while.
And you are involved in tying all of this to the smart home. Describe for us some of the things that Orbit has been doing here.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are getting into the smart home space, as are most manufacturers at this point. We got very excited about smart home, and as we watched it unfold with, many companies like Nest and others, we got excited thinking about what that could do for irrigation and for water use in general. Homeowners generally, and most people, commercial properties, agriculture, most people overwater. This is a problem we've been tackling for many years. Our slogan here is conservation through innovation. And so the innovation was meeting up with our goals and desires for the last 40 years. And so with Smart, we were able to move into this arena of using weather to drive the watering. Instead of just setting your controller to water every other day, we tied a local weather station, and you can even set up personal weather stations with our B-Hyve system. And with those local weather stations, you then receive a feed that basically is constantly looking at how quickly water is leaving your plants in the soil through evapotranspiration. Not a word that people want to sit and think about too long, but but how fast the water is leaving, how much is being replenished through rainfall, and how much needs to be made up with irrigation. And so by doing this, you can save roughly 30 to 50% water use by using smart technology. So what really got us excited was the technology caught up with our desires. And it's really just been fun to watch people go from a set it and forget it, maybe touch my sprinkler system twice a year kind of model to where they're looking at it, virtually every day in some way, shape, or form through the application. So that's been an exciting transformation. We started with our indoor-outdoor timer that became a best-selling timer very quickly, and we've moved into other areas. So instead of just underground irrigation systems being smart, we've actually turned your hose faucet into a smart watering device as well. We launched our B-Hyve hose faucet timer this year, and also been received very well. It essentially it's the only smart hose faucet timer on the market. And when I say smart, I mean EPA WaterSense certified, connects to weather, adjusts based on the weather if you'd like it to, or if you just want a device that you can turn on and off, or fill up your pet dish, or water that one spot on your lawn, or fill the kids' pool and not have it overflow. It's great for that too.
Terrific. And for irrigation systems, you have, I guess, at least one model, maybe more, that can replace the existing box on the house?
Yes, we do. We actually did launch an indoor mount version of our underground system as well. And so the indoor model doesn't mean you put it, it doesn't water plants inside your house. It means you mount it indoors. It's a question we get, just to clarify. It's an indoor mount timer, and we took out some of the cost of the indoor-outdoor model and made that one very affordable. So that one, for a 4-station model, for anyone that's been scared of smart products because they're just too expensive, they might just be out of reach of your budget, we launched that 4-station model at $59. So really putting it within reach of anyone's budget that's buying an irrigation timer. And likewise, we launched the 8-station model at $79. So again, really affordable. And the nice thing is most states in the West actually have rebates of some form. So if you were going in to buy a non-smart timer that was going to cost you $40 for a non-smart timer, and you found you can pick one of these up for $59 on the shelf, get a 50%, sometimes a full rebate on the cost of the product. But even at 50%, it's going to cost you $30 out the door. And you can get into smart technology for literally nothing more than a non-smart timer at this point. So that's pretty exciting for us. We wanted to make smart watering affordable to the masses. And that's been a pillar of what we're doing from the beginning here as an irrigation manufacturer, realizing what the technology can do for water conservation. We wanted to get people into smart watering as quickly as possible.
There are people who are intimidated when it comes to trying to set something like this up. So what do you tell them?
That's a great question. Yes, it can be intimidating, but I do tell them this. I tell them that it is a quick change out, number one. So people get worried about the hardware. The hardware is actually very straightforward. If you label your old wires, take them out, put them into the new controller, plug it in, you're done with the installation of the hardware. That's about a 10-minute change out. Not a big deal, not a tricky project at all. Anyone can do it. On the actual application side, that part is new for people. So what I tell people is essentially this: if you go through the steps, it gives you a guided tour to walk through and set up your irrigation system. And it guides you through setting it up into smart watering as well. Smart watering meaning let the weather come in and help you with your irrigation. So you can set it up, in a number of ways, but if you take the guided tour through smart watering, it will just walk you through step by step of setting up your plant types, setting up your sprinkler types, running the zone, verifying that everything works okay. And then it says you're done, and you'll go to your home screen and it says your watering is going to come on these days. What I tell people, the biggest trick or the biggest challenge with new technology is where you get into this a little bit of a quarrel with, well, that's not how I would water it in the past, so I'm not sure that that's the best plan for me. And so people start manually watering in place of smart watering, and that where we're accounting for all water in the yard, what happens then is you start pushing your smart watering out by just watering it manually all the time. And so it looks like smart watering isn't going to come on, but when you're watering it manually, it views that as precipitation that went into the lawn, so it doesn't need to water. So what I tell people is if you can set it and forget it, truly, just look at it and monitor it, make sure your plants aren't dying, make sure nothing's wrong. You may have to go in and course correct a little bit, but if you can set it and forget it, smart watering will start working for you. And it's generally about a 2-week period to totally normalize to where it's really doing its job and doing a great job for you. So that's the main thing I tell people. Set it, forget it. The application setup, very straightforward, very easy to do. Most age groups, most demographics can actually walk through this, and I've watched countless people do it as an observer. So
Really interesting. And the app will work with, I assume, either iOS or Android, right?
iOS or Android, absolutely. Yep. Covered on
And
both fronts.
so this is on the market now, very affordable pricing, and I guess for people in some parts of the country, they're going to wait until spring to go out and buy this and install it because they may have their water system shut off for the winter. But others in the south and west, they can go out and tackle this now, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of markets in the U.S. where there's still a lot of irrigation going on. We can see that people are still watering, timers are still online. That it's alive and well. But the nice thing is smart technology has become quite a great gift item for the holiday season. So we're seeing an uptick now where people sort of forgot about irrigation this time of year. A smart product becomes more of a gift item and part of a smart home. So people are buying these things for their parents, their grandparents, their spouses, their kids, and they're giving them as gifts during the holiday season. So we see a little bit of an uptick in the holidays. And then likewise, when you turn the corner into spring, even in the colder markets, people's minds start to shift to, I can't wait for spring. I'm going to start getting ready. And so, yeah, there's plenty of runway here before the irrigation season starts in the colder markets. But it's also fun. We see people actually buying them, putting them on their desk, and starting to play with them that way as well too. So it's been what I would call in an irrigation market, which is not the same as stereos or something that cool. But in an irrigation market, we've seen a lot more interest than ever before due to smart products.
Very cool. What advantages do you feel you have over the competition?
Great question. Well, there's a lot of great competitors out there, and I'll just say we applaud everyone that's sort of moving the needle as it relates to saving water. It's been a challenge for the traditional irrigation manufacturers over the years. The smart technologies have caught up, and a lot of tech players have entered the space. So we applaud and congratulate everyone that's in the space and actually doing something for water conservation. Where we're a little bit different, where we're separated, is we came at this from an irrigation manufacturer perspective with 45 plus years in the industry, and kind of, I would say, having a little bit of an advantage in knowing the space versus the tech companies that entered the space. And so we've done a little bit, I'd say we've had some successes due to that maybe other companies have had challenges with. Another arena that we are passionate about and adamant about is, and this is not what I would call a super interesting thing for some people, but an irrigation audit. We built an irrigation audit right into our app. What that means is this: most smart controllers are only as smart as how they got programmed in the factory. So you've got pre-assumed assumptions about, how much water a specific head type puts out, and those types of things. And those are just assumed values based on head specs from manufacturers, including us. Well, what the catch cup technology does is it's like looking at your car check engine light and guessing what's wrong with it versus plugging it into the computer and reading the codes. The catch cup technology integrated into the app is like reading the codes of your sprinkler system. It'll give you the true precipitation rate of your irrigation system. It'll give you your true distribution uniformity. Those are assumed values unless you do this test. So we've actually seen an incredible uptick in people buying catch cups. They're very affordable. It's $25 for a set. That $25 generally leads to about a 30% additional savings over whatever you were going to get from smart watering anyway. And so that's probably one of the biggest arenas. Aside from that, it's a lot of people, we talk a lot about this. It becomes a karate versus kung fu conversation. So it's a lot of in the eye of the beholder, but that's one of the things that really has separated us from our competitors. Where
can people go for more info?
You can go to B-Hyve.orbitonline.com, and we also, catch cups are sold at majorretailers.com. So you can find them anywhere, or you can find the B-Hyve timers virtually anywhere at this point. But B-Hyve.orbitonline.com is our web address where you can go for more information about all the B-Hyve products.
And it's B-Hyve, right?
It is B-Hyve. You can, as a URL, you can just type in BHYVE.orbitonline.com.
Terrific. Brad Wardle, thanks for taking the time with us.
Hey, thanks for talking with us again. Appreciate it.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C. Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C. Crane.